Welcome back to RealVacantLand.com. This is Luke Smith, and I just started a live stream, and I believe I've got everything working. So today, I'd like to talk about inventory on the website, RealVacantLand.com. You know, a couple different properties have come up since we talked about this last week, so I'd like to dive into that and see what properties are new and live on there. Let me see if I can change one thing here, make it a little faster. We got green lights this time, so we'll see if that flows. Too many buttons to push. Sorry guys, one-man show. So today I'd like to talk about inventory, things that I got on the website, new properties that are up for sale. Deals in Hawaii. I've got a couple properties up for sale in Hawaii. Mendocino County and Northern California. It's like 2.5-3 hour drive from San Francisco. I think that's a good place to, you know, there's just some nice deals there, really cheap, easy deals, big trees. I wanted to point those out. I wanted to talk about notes and owner financing of these vacant land kinds of deals. Not only buying land, but selling land, so kind of the ins and outs of both sides, and talk about if you're selling land, if you're a land dealer like me and you sell land, lots of times you end up selling land on payments over time, and that's only sustainable if you have enough capital to do that. So sometimes it makes sense to sell those payments over time. Self-gratifying idea, but you can totally take advantage of it and get some free land and do whatever the heck you want with it. You don't have to do anything with me after that. So nice piece of free land. Today I think I give away one more piece of property to make it 38 properties I've given away on the YouTube channel. So let's dive into it. I've got the website pulled up, and it seems like we got a bunch of green lights on this feed and a couple comments going by. People saying hello, good morning. Yeah, the live stream froze, so I restarted it and re-going, and it seems like we've got more green lights and stuff, and everyone's saying hi. Thank you. Off-Grid Arizona says, lost you again, Luke. Buffering. So hopefully it's not just buffering like crazy. I mean, I got a bunch of I mean, I got green lights. One thing, yeah, it says green. So hopefully it's still going. Maybe someone can say, yeah, one guy's saying it's back. Okay, so let's dive into the website and see if we can keep it rolling. So here's RealVacantLand.com. I wanted to pull up listings. I'm just going to do for sale, stuff that's for sale. And now we'll see what's come up in the last little bit since we made the previous video here last week. And I want to get more time. You know, phone never stops ringing, but I want to get more time. It's a good thing. I want to get more time to make videos about each one of these properties, but it takes some time, and it's just hard. But let's dive into the ones we've got here. It says it's doing well now, and then as soon as someone says that, I get red lights. Oh no. So we've got Mojave County, $15,000 for 40 acres. Let's take a look at that. I wonder who just put that one up there. Part of it's green lights, part of it's red lights, so I'm not sure if it's really working or not. So here's an owner financing offer. Aaron English put this one up, $15,000 or $4,000 down and $300 a month for 60 months. And then it looks like he's made a video about the property, and he's talking about the property. He says owner will carry, and he's got a link to his website. So if you want to buy it, you can go to his website and check out there. And available financing, he's talking about it. He's got GPS coordinates and all kinds of information about it. So that's nice, the 40 acre in Mojave. I wonder if it says the zoning on there. AR 36, yeah, so you can't break that one up. So I was just wondering. See what else is coming on. Um, 3 livable lots near the Ozarks in Ozark County, Missouri. So I think this was Jason Lydiard was just saying he got some of these southern Missouri. I've had numerous people asking about land in Missouri. So it's nice to see some on here. He's asking $5,500 or $500 down, $125 per month for 48 months. So there's some more owner financing. There's something that you can do. Looks like it's near a lake too. Looks like he made a video and he's talking about it. Coconino County, Arizona. Let's see what that is. $13,000 for 40 acres. Aaron English again. So $13,000 for 40 acres. This is northern Arizona. This looks like some wide open country. Perfect mountain view. Let's see, 5 acres in Castilla County. Castilla County. We're seeing a bunch of the Castilla County last week. I'm not sure if these are new ones on top of last week or these are the same ones we were talking about last week. I think these are some of the same ones we saw last week. Let's try one of these. 4.9 acres. I think a lot of the Castilla County ones are smaller though. There's Dave Ayers. $2,697 for 5 acres. That's a pretty good price for 5 acres. It's pretty cheap, 5 acres. Sunny skies, 300 days a year. Payment options, you could do owner financing there as well. I'm wondering if this thing is working. If anyone could tab in and say if the video is working or not, that'd be great. So I'm getting different lights. Not 100% sure if it's working or not. Okay, so this is more and more Castilla County. We were talking about that before. Well, this one's new since last week, so these must be new Castilla County. Here's Nevada County, California. I haven't priced this one yet. I got to get this one priced. It's 3 acres in Nevada County, California. Bought this from a lady, and there's a road at the bottom of it, and there's a easement that comes across the top to get in there as well. And so prices in the area are sky high. I mean, there's houses all over this area, nice looking houses too. And this is a good section of woods here. This is Grass Valley, California. This is a nicer area. Very discerning buyers in the area, just south of Grass Valley, Bluegill Place. So that's one I got to work on that one today. Try to figure out what to sell it for. Yeah, people are saying okay, good. Thank you guys. Thanks for chiming in. Circle 7 Land saying the Castilla are new, Luke. I'm seeing that now as I see which ones are beyond there. So David Ayers got a whole lot of Castilla County dollars for 5 acres, like $2,087 for 4.6 acres. It's a good sized piece of land. I mean, you could keep some horses on there, build a shop and a barn and a garage and a house, and still have room for horses. Here for Herfino County, this $109 down payment. Who's doing that one? David Van Stinky. I can't get his last name. Say David. I was gonna try to get these links fixed. We saw these last week. Okay, so that's the new ones that are on here since last week. It was 15 properties or something that have been listed on the website since last week. So that's a lot of land. It's a lot of land to choose from. Okay, so I wanted to pull up the deals in Hawaii, and I'm not 100% sure which ones are going to be on the board because there's a little bit of jostling here the last couple days. But let me pull up Hawaii. And as you probably have heard in the news, this is the Big Island of Hawaii, and there's a new volcano action that's been happening there. And I used to work in a mining finance shop that was full of geology, right? So I didn't study geology, but boy, I got an earful of geology from all kinds of economic geologists, really smart geologists all over the world. Would come to the shop and pitch us on their stories, and we decide if we're going to finance them or not. And so, yeah, there's land missing here. So there's some 1 acre ones up the hill that are missing, that are not on the website. I gotta fix that. We'll start with this 20 acre. I wanted to show some, there's some 1 acre ones that are $9,999. They're supposed to be on the website too. But I canceled off some of them, and I think I got the wrong ones. So I'll get the ones that I'm not canceling off back on there. So this is the Big Island of Hawaii, and my understanding of the geology of Hawaii. I wish I could pull up. It's going to be bad in my internet stream, but if I pull up, if maybe I can kind of explain a little bit. Could almost draw it on the board behind me. But you know, Hawaii, the Big Island of Hawaii is like the youngest island, right, in my understanding. And as you go further away from the Big Island, they're older and older and older islands. And so there's a huge tectonic plate. You know, the Earth's got all these plates floating around the magma, right? And theoretically, there's a weak spot or a hole in one of those plates where Hawaii has been coming up. So those plates are slowly moving over time, and the hole, or maybe the hole's moving on the plate, whatever, but the stuff seems to keep poking through in this same line. It's like you take a ball of wet sand in your hand and you dribble it across the beach, and you plop, 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 plop. That's what it looks like in topography. So if you go to Google Earth and you zoom in on the topography of the undersea Hawaii, you can see the islands that pop through, and you can also see older ones pointing off towards the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia, you know, going off towards Russia. So it's like this chain of volcanoes has been happening for a long time. And as this new volcano in Hawaii is just a progression of that same chain. They're all in a line. You can see where they're going, and you can see the route that they're taking, so it should just keep adding onto that island or creating a new island out in front of it, you know, way beyond our timeline. But that seems to be what's happening there. And maybe I could pull up the map of this particular property and show you where it is on the island. So if I have that kind of geology in mind that's happening there, let's go back to the website, see if this pulls up. As we have that kind of line of volcanoes, this property is off to one side of the island. It's not in the path of that line of volcanoes. I mailed offers in the past to Gilian Estates, like that area where the volcano popped up in the middle of the neighborhood, and nobody sold to me. I didn't offer enough money. I didn't offer much money because there's a lot of restrictions on that neighborhood. So the covenants of what you can build, I mean, they wanted is the basic geology of the island. And you can see where this land is compared to where the volcanoes are happening. And then the predominant wind just takes the stuff away from here anyway. So you're not getting the smoke off the island. So this is South Point. This is Ocean View down here. This is a big island. Volcano's a town. This is Mauna Kea. Sorry, Mauna Kea, Mauna Lea. This is the one that's usually rumbling and going and spitting. And then the next one's spit out over here. And if we zoom out, you'll see this line of volcanoes going way back towards Russia. You know, shoom. See if I can zoom out some more. You know, it's like this hole in the crust has been spitting more and more and more, going this way. Eventually we get the big island. And it's going this way. It's not going this way. It's going this way. And so out here is where the next one broke through. Let's see. In this area here somewhere. Gilian Estates right here. So it broke out right into this neighborhood. There's Nanwali Estates. I've had a bunch of properties in there on the website in the past. Everybody that bought those seems to be happy, as far as I know. And they don't seem to be getting affected by this, and the volcano comes out here and it dumps lava going this way and all down this region, made a mess of this whole region. So the main road is here, comes down. I mean, you can go past it, the Pahoa, but this road you can go up over the volcano, you can go up over the hill and down if you're coming from Hilo to Ocean View. Whoops, I totally moved the marker. It's over here somewhere. I'm gonna have to reset it. And then you know, you could fly into Kona over here and then come down here. You can drive down this way, would be a shorter route, or you could drive into Hilo and or fly into Hilo and drive down here, drive across. And there's a couple different ways. But the volcano doesn't mess with the roads, it doesn't mess with your air quality, it doesn't mess with your lifestyle. And so the land that I've got now, I got some up here in this neighborhood and some, and one of them down here closer to the ocean. So this, I've heard, is a lot better weather from the locals. They like this kind of 2,000 elevation, 2,000 foot elevation. It's not as hot and sticky as down here. Tourists seem to like hot and sticky closer to the beach. So there's locals like this, tourists like this. I've got some of each, and I'll get the $10,000 stuff back up on the website here later today. And the $20,000 stuff down here by the beach is already on the website. This $20,000 stuff's 3 acres, and the $10,000 stuff is 1 acre. It's on a road. I mean, they're all on roads. I think they have power lines. You do rainwater catchment in the area. I mean, everybody in the area is hip to rainwater catchment, and so that's just what you do. And you have big ocean views, and you just go for it. The building restrictions are like next to nothing. You can just build. People live in buses and yurts and stuff. I mean, they're happy. Just go build what you want. So I wanted to point the Hawaiian properties out if you're looking for a place. Like I'd love to take off with this one here, this 3 acre in Hawaii. Go build a house on there. You know, there's Home Depot up the way. There's Hawaii Building Supply that's been around forever. It's full of lumber. And then there's a couple lumber shops within half an hour, 45 minutes, where you can buy, you know, plumbing, lumber, shingles, bath fixtures, the whole works. You can buy the whole house there. You just put it together. So the other ones I wanted to point out, which are on the website, surprised people haven't taken off with, are in Mendocino County. I mean, I've sold a half dozen of them or something, but I still have a half dozen of them in inventory. And I've lowered the prices on them. And so we've got some here, like this one's got a view of the lake, $800 down, $150 a month for 60 months. And there's just a bunch of big trees. It's a lot of these big redwoods spaced throughout the community. Roads, power, water. Some of the lots have sewer, some don't. And it's like 2.5, 3 hours from San Francisco. So it's not very far from San Francisco. You can go build a house in the woods, nature all over the place. I got some here, you know, just starts at $334 a month for 24 months. This one $99 down, and then $349 a month for 24 months. I mean, let me know if you want different plans, payment plans. I can concoct different payment plan to fit what works for you. Most likely, let me know, you know, within reason. $200 a month for 65 months. I mean, you can start working on the property with $200. $299 a month for 36 months. And these things, I mean, you're not going to commute to San Francisco from here, but I mean, it's total weekend getaway from San Francisco and the Bay Area, where prices are sky high. And then these properties are, you know, much, much cheaper. And so I'm surprised the vicinity of San Francisco, these things are still up for sale. The people that have been buying the ones that I've sold, I mean, I never hear back from them. They buy them, they take off, they love it, they're gone, they're going to work on them. So those are some nice looking ones that are on the website. I thought I'd point out. Let me hit the chat here, see if I can catch up for a sec. Now it's freezing up again, green light, crazy. Video's working. Okay, it keeps freezing, so it's on and off. Sorry guys. Steve Lynn, I live in Arizona and would love to see Grass Valley one more time. I have access to 10 acres in southeastern Arizona that I would trade for Grass Valley property. Think about it and message me about it later. Yeah, so the Grass Valley one, it was a more expensive one. It's one of the more expensive ones I've bought since starting this website. I'm thinking it's probably going to be up for sale in the like, I haven't totally figured it out yet, but I think it's probably like 65 grand kind of range. So it's probably going to be one of the more expensive ones on the website. I got to figure out what the cost really came out to about buying it. I got it through title and insurance and a couple different moving parts to pull it all off. And then so I gotta figure out the cost and see where the market's at and then get it up for sale. So that should be up there later today. But I think it's going to be more than 10 acres. And, well, you said, well, yeah, eastern Arizona. I mean, maybe we could use the 10 acres as a down payment or something, make payments. Maybe there's some deal we could figure out or add cash to it. Or, I don't know, maybe it's a really awesome 10 acres. Yeah, A2's, there's an entirely new island being built right now. Exactly. It's a beautiful thing, right? Everyone says, land, they don't make any more of it. Yeah, well, geology's making more. Other videos we've had on here been about land splitting. I mean, that's one way of making more land. You take one piece of property and split it into many pieces of property, so it goes from one person using it to many people using it. I mean, it's not making more area of land, but it's making land more usable. It's a different way of thinking about it too. So I'm not trying to refute that saying, Mark Twain saying they're not making any more of it, but it's there's just always different ways of looking at it too, right? And then yeah, Candy Pitts saying, hi Luke, love seeing people win. Yup, try to give some more land away today. If my video doesn't crash on me, I'm sure I'll figure out a way. Might have to do it in the chat if the video crashes. And saying hello, buffering better now. Uh-oh, TK Dawes saying, I missed that land because you have my wrong email when you be getting more 5 acres in Cochise County. And can you get land in Costa Chica, Mexico? I don't know how to do the paperwork for the Mexican land. I've had a couple deals presented to me on Mexican land, and my favorite one was down by Todos Santos in Baja. Guy had, or he still has, I can't figure out the paperwork. He has like couple miles of beachfront, and it goes up the hill, and it's split up. Theoretically, he says it is. I mean, he's got maps and stuff of all the kind of like 5 acre lots on the hill looking out at the Pacific Ocean, and there's no restrictions on it. You can pull in with an RV and start building, and build or not build, or live in a tent or build a castle. It doesn't matter. And he put in some water wells and tanks at the top of the hill in some of the areas, so you can like feed water to some of the lots. But a lot of the lots have no utilities, nothing. But I mean, 5 acres, surf break right out front in Baja, that would be awesome to be able to offer that to people. But the paperwork is crazy. I mean, it's nothing like the U.S. The U.S. is so much easier to transfer ownership of land and know what you get. In Mexico, you don't, as an American, within certain range of the coast, you don't really own it. You buy it through a bank. You have a bank be your middleman, and the bank owns it, and then you like lease it from the bank. And you know, do you trust the bank? Do you trust the contracts? Do you trust everybody? Does the guy that's selling it to you really own it? You know, it was given to him by some Spanish somebody back in the day and signed over before Mexico signed it. You know, it's like the history is just mind-boggling, and figuring out, going through the paperwork to figure it out. And the paper trail is nowhere near as accessible as in the U.S. Not that the U.S. is really, really accessible, but it's just not. So I think on those Cochise counties that TK Dawes was asking about, I sold out of them. But one guy returned a couple of them. He was buying numerous different ones. He went to look at them, and he liked one over the other for whatever reason. And I think he had 3 or 4 other 4 or 5 acre properties, and he returned them. I I think they should be back up on the website or going back up on the website today. So maybe TK, maybe one of those would be the ticket for you. And then there's some others I could probably buy in and get up for sale too. So I'll take note of this email and reach out to you. Yeah, so someone's saying it's smart to try to buy the property low right now, so when it recovers it'll be back high on the market. I think Hawaii is just misunderstood right now with the volcano. I don't think the volcano is really messing with anything where this land is, except people's perceptions of safety and uncertainty and stuff. So yeah, it's probably a great time to go buy Hawaii. It's a contrarian way of doing it, right? Hey, Cochise property sold fast. I wanted it too for its zoning. Yeah, guys, I used to have over 100 properties in inventory in Cochise over the last couple years. I've been the ask for Cochise 4-acre properties for 2 years or something. I'm finally hitting the bottom of them. I used to sell 1 or 2 of them a day, pretty steady for a year, 2 years. I'm sure we'll get more. I think more of them will come around. We'll get more. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, I wouldn't mind visiting Hawaii, but I feel trapped in an island if I live there. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it too. It's island fever stuff. You got to be content where you are. You know, get used to using a bicycle instead of a car, and it feels like everything's a lot further away. I don't know. Just use it as a part-time property. Rent it out the rest of the time. Ben Dow says hi. Hi, Ben. We got to hook up on a mailer here. Red light, green light. Everybody's going. Okay. Someone's saying where in eastern Arizona. Somebody was saying they wanted to trade a 10-acre property in eastern Arizona for the Grass Valley one in California. And they too is saying the new Hawaiian Island won't be on the market for a while. Yeah, he's got a sense of humor. Okay, let's see. So let's go back into the website. So I covered inventory, Hawaii deals, Mendocino deals. Next thing I wanted to talk about is notes. And I don't think I need to pull up the website just yet for notes. I wanted to do a little bit of a background, a little bit of a spiel, and lead into something I've been thinking about. I don't know if I have the exact time to pull it off yet, but eventually I would like to. And so notes. I'm talking about owner financing on land. So a lot of these properties I was just showing you on the website, excuse me, offer a price, like a down payment price and a payment over time. It's a lot easier to buy land if you're not putting all the money up front. It's a lot easier to go look at it, to get to know the zoning, to get to know the restrictions, get to know what it is, you know, if the neighbors are crazy, if the rules are crazy, if the access is crazy, if you don't just pay for it all through a title company or something and a real estate agent and you're totally stuck with it. Then you gotta go sell it to somebody else after you know all about it. And it's harder to present the thing when you know there's something wrong with it, right? And not saying there's something wrong with every property, but different people see properties differently. And so if you bought a property with down payment, you got a lot more time to go figure it all out, and you're not out that much money with some of these down payments. I mean, some of the down payments we're just talking about, it's like $200 or something a month. It gives you a lot of time to go get used to that property, do your due diligence before you plunker down your whole wad of capital. And it also allows you to focus on improving the property, fixing the property, building it, being able to move into the property, making it happen with your capital instead of putting all the cash you have into the land and then getting stuck borrowing to the moon on building supplies and labor and everything else to go make it happen. There's lots of ways to finance building properties. So one of the helps is owner financing on the land. Another help is buying supplies on credit, construction finance, home equity lines of credit from your current house to move into your new house. There's lots of ways to do this. Cash, savings. Another way could be buying vacant land, selling it on terms and using the terms to help pay for your property. Or instead of buying the land and selling it on terms, you could probably do deals like some of these companies I'm going to show you here in a sec. They buy the notes, they buy the stream of cash flows off of the person who bought the land and sold it. And they do it with houses, they do it with businesses, they do it with lottery winnings, they do it with oil wells, they do it with all kinds of cash streams. But in this instant, I'm talking about vacant land contracts or land contracts, whatever you want to call them, contract for deed. And so there's people that make a business of doing that, who specifically just buy those pieces of paper, buy those contracts, and then they collect the payments over time. And they usually have investors. They use their own money and investors to finance those. Sometimes the investors are banks. Sometimes they're insurance companies. Insurance companies always have lots of money to put to work. Just look at your insurance bills. All that money you're sending them, they got to put it to work in preparation for someday one of their people is going to have a problem. They got to send money out, right? So in the meantime, they can make money on that money. And so they buy stuff like this. They buy stuff like notes on vacant land. Not many of them do, but some of them do. And there's a market for that. And so I've sold a bunch of properties on notes and contracts and everything. And I don't have unlimited amounts of capital. I've been buying a bunch of properties recently, so I don't have crazy amounts of capital left. And it would be nice to be able to sell some of those notes off. And so I've been researching it, looking at it, and trying to figure it out, and wondering if maybe I should make a market in some of these notes too, because if people don't pay the notes off, you keep the land. And what do you do with the land? Well, if you're a land dealer or seller, it's a lot easier to go resell that land, go sell it again. Someone else starts making payments, and it makes the financial scenario a lot easier to manage if you're already selling land anyway, to go sell some more land. So I think that'd be a good business for me to branch out into in one way or another. So I've been researching it and looking at it, and I've got some history with it on different kinds of real estate deals and mining deals in the past. And so I'm more comfortable with that, but maybe not everybody is. So I thought this could be a open communication platform for that. So maybe you guys could chime in and ask questions and things as well. Maybe we can keep this conversation going over time. So let's jump into the website. I thought I'd pull up a couple different companies. There's one of them I've done deals with in the past on real estate, not vacant land, but like actual, properties. This was Detroit deals I was doing. I'd get them bought, sold, and everything, and be collecting the property on collecting money on payments. And then there's a whole bunch more deals I could buy. Like if I could sell off the payments, I could buy 2 or 3 more houses for what the people would pay, because it's all built up, priced, rented, cash flowing, has been for a while, seasoned and everything. So guys like these will buy the notes at a huge discount. Like Detroit in 2008, I mean, they were paying, I spreadsheeted a whole bunch of companies like this, and Boston Note was the highest bid I could get out of a whole bunch of them. I think it was it's right around 70, like 72% on the dollar. It's like 72 cents on the dollar if I remember right, something like that. But it still made a lot of sense, because Detroit was so wiped out. I could go buy more Detroit easily. So I took some of their deals, sold them some notes. And they pay fast, they close easy. It's great. And so these guys, let's see if I'm not 100% sure they do vacant land. And so I was just going to pull it up. Types of notes they purchase: single notes, season notes. I mean, real estate mortgages, contracts for deed, land contracts. So I think they do land. Acceptable types of security, the property: single family residence, multifamily properties, condominiums, apartment, improved land, unimproved land. Yeah, so they do vacant land, commercial properties. So all kinds of assets that they do it on. So vacant land. So if you have notes, if you sold land on terms, this is one company I can recommend from selling notes to them in the past. I don't know what kind of discounts they'll do. Probably depends on multiple different variables, but they'll give you a vote or a bid. And what a lot of people do is they go find notes, you know, somebody that owes somebody money, and they give them a bid by coming to a company like Boston Note, and they go to Boston Note and they say, how much will you bid me for this? And Boston Note will say, you know, they'll give them the price, I'll bid you 10 grand. And so the guy will go back to the person that's got the debt, you know, that's collecting the debt, and they'll bid them 11 grand or 12 grand or something. Or sorry, I'm saying that wrong. They'll bid them 8 or 9 grand, something less. And then the guy will say, oh, really? You give me 8 or 9 grand for that? Okay. And they'll close it with Boston Note's money. So they'll go back to Boston Note, and Boston Note will pay the middleman 10 grand, who pays the in guy 8 or 9 grand, whatever he negotiated. And you can negotiate that, and you can tell Boston Note what your spread is and everything, and they'll hide your whatever you're taking and just pay out, you know, what you contracted with the person to the person that you're buying the debt from. And so they're a good backer for people that want to go find contracts, find people that you know, owe money to someone else, and you buy that contract out. And they'll do parts of it. They'll do the first 3 months or 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 5 years, because 10, 20, 30 years from now it's not worth as much to them. It's better than when my face is not there and it's not shown up on the screen. People drop off and walk away. So there's a lot more trust when somebody looks you in the eye. And even YouTube video, websites, stuff like that, I'm getting carried off on the side here. But so if you're dealing land, selling land, if you're buying, selling, whatever, anything else, that's just something good to know. So these guys send out mail. They send out offers to people that have been doing owner financing, like, or they've done it in the past with them and stuff. Like, they continuously mail. I haven't done deals with them for years and years and years, and they keep mailing, you know, for more deals. And so they do a lot of direct mail to get their deals. And I'm sure they get a lot of deal flow off of that mail. Here's what they're saying: 85 notes purchased last month with balances over $8.2 million. So they purchase real estate notes nationwide, and I think they had you know, basically virtually all types of property. I think they had a map here, and yeah, they've got a map. We'll see if this loads. So if you've been selling land and people have been making payments to you, and you want your cash instead of collecting payments for the rest of forever, I mean, one thing you can do is you can offer the people that are making the payments some kind of discount or sale. I've done that a couple times to collect money, get money to instead of selling the note to someone else. But you could get a quote from these guys and see what they're willing to pay too, so you see how much of a sale it makes sense to have or not. And these guys, look, they've been buying notes in Hawaii, Alaska, Washington, California, Maine, Florida, and basically everything in between. Not much Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, but, you know, like all over. Looks like they skipped Missouri. But lots of them around Michigan. This is their home base, right? So lots of them in this area. And let's see. Saying it froze. A couple people saying my video's not working. So I got my face back on the screen. We'll see if that works for a sec. And I've got green lights. Things seem to be working. And a couple people saying it's back. My sister's texting me. Thank you, Malia. So just some basics of buying and selling notes. There's competition out there, people that'll buy these things. But I thought maybe I could join that marketplace. Maybe create a little bit different of a marketplace, more open, showing the things, payments history and stuff on the website, and make it easy to buy and sell notes. So that's one of the things I'm working on. If it ever gets done or not, I'm not exactly sure, but it's on the to-do list. And if you've already got notes, you can go to these guys. And if you're interested in buying notes, I might sell some of mine too. The next topic I wanted to talk about, I wanted to pull up some articles that I've been reading and pointed out to you, but I didn't have the time to pull them up. And I'll just tell you the essence. China has like changed their their guidelines on forestry, and they've been building a lot of stuff, right? And so they've been cutting down trees like crazy and building stuff with their trees, and it's been taking out the forest. So they made some new laws and made it a lot harder to go foresting in China. And so China is now importing a lot of wood, and so lumber prices started going up. And then Trump and Canada and tariffs and everything else hit that, where we get a lot of our lumber from Canada. We're getting bumped up in price from the Canadian lumber. Prices of lumber have gone up. And so now if you look at historical lumber prices, like on indexes per bear, a lot of the indexes are quoted per 1,000 board feet. And in the 90s and stuff, I mean, when the markets are really hot in the past, I mean, they barely get over $200 a board foot. And now we're over $500 a board foot, 500 something. We're all-time highs in lumber prices right now. And so I'm scratching my head on that. That's not nice to see, but it's part of what's going on. And a lot of the guys say lumber prices dip in the winter, especially around January. And I thought that was interesting. So if you're planning on a build and stuff, maybe January is the time to buy your lumber. I don't know if it hits the markets that liquid and that for sure down at the retail level, but it's just something I was learning this weekend studying lumber. So just want lumber, and then I wanted to give some land away. So I've got to come up with a question, and I've got a bunch of red lights going on here, so hopefully it's still going. Some Elva is saying it's working, saying it stopped, but it's working. A2 saying green light, so hopefully it's working. Hopefully everybody can see and hear, and it's not too much buffering or whatever, so we can do a live land giveaway. And I wanted to say thank you for everyone that's been listening and watching for this long and paying attention. I think I answered as many of the questions as I saw go by. And yeah, let's give me a sec to clean my head and think about where I started on this. And I was saying, I said a couple times how many properties I've given away to date on this YouTube channel. And hopefully it's not too hard of a question, but it's a number. It's in the 30s, 30 something properties. How many properties have I given away on the YouTube channel so far? I said it a couple times earlier on in the video. You might be able to pan back or listen to it, or if you remember, that'd be great. Today I wanted to give away one more that would make it one number higher, still be in the 30s. I mean, you could just guess probably. There's not that many numbers in the 30s. But I think the first person to say the number of properties I've given away so far, if you remember, would be great. Person that hasn't won land before, that is not working with me or for me, or my sister, she was on here. It doesn't count. Malia, I'm not going to give you property. But yeah, people are doing it. They're hitting the number. Okay, so I got to figure out who the winner is here. So I see 37 and 38 going by. 38 today would be 38. 37 went by. I saw 30. The first 37 I see is, I might have just seen the name in the chat a bunch of times. Yeah, so I think it's Robin Banks. Let me pull that back up. Let me just do one double check here, because a couple times I have people arguing with me. Yeah, so on my screen, the first one I see that said 37 is Robin Banks. So Robin Banks, I'm going to give you a piece of property. Thank you for everybody for answering and listening and watching. Robin, will you please send an email to my assistant Gilian, Gilian, at ruralvacantland.com. I'm typing it into the chat, and if you you could cut and paste it there, but cut and paste from there. And this is the email you send your title information to. So title being, let me make sure the screen's working. Okay, title being what name you want to own this land in. Could be your name, you and your spouse, you and your kids. It could be your trust. It could be your charity if you want to give it to somebody. It could be whatever name you want to own it in. hopefully it's a name that you can sign off on, so you could mortgage it someday, you could sell it someday, you could do something with it someday. If you give it to a charity or give it to a church or something, then it's it's, you lose it. It's not yours anymore. You can't do anything with it. That charity, church, whoever, there's got to be somebody there that can sign off on behalf of that name to do something with it, like sell it, give it to somebody who's down on their luck in the congregation or something. And that's the idea. So if you keep it in your name or some kind of name that you can still sign off on to transfer it, and you want to sell it, you want to turn it into cash, maybe you don't want the property that I'm giving away, maybe you do. It's tell me in email that you want me to resell it, and it'll take a while to get the property. It'll take a couple months. I've got to do some paperwork, some back and forth stuff, and eventually you start getting letters and things, and eventually you get a deed. And when you get the deed, we can go sell it. You can tell me sell it. Luke, sell it. See what you can sell it for. Maybe I do it on owner financing if you're okay with that. We do payments over time, and I send you a bunch of checks over time. Or we do it for cash. Maybe somebody pays cash or some combination or whatever you're comfortable with. And there's a little bit of paperwork I'd like you to sign that says, Luke, you can sell this for me, and I'd like to charge you for it. I'd like to charge you 50% of the profits, 'cause that's just what I charge on going to resell these things or sell other people's properties. Other people buy properties off the website, have me go resell them at higher prices. The people buy it for cash, they'll go sell it for, buy it for $2,000, sell it for 48 months or $100 a month or something. They make money, they make good money off of those deals. It's a better yield than the bank and the stock markets and lots of other things. You get some nice yields off of it. People buy the property, they're happy, they get to do payments, everybody wins. And I start out with these things at much lower prices than the market usually is anyway. So if the person stops making the payments, they disappear on us, you can go sell the property again, which doesn't seem to happen to me that often. This just makes it for a nice asset class that you could start adding to your portfolio. Maybe this is your first one, maybe this is your 5th or 100th. But I think if I walk you through it by giving you the first piece of property, you'll be more comfortable in doing it again and again and again. And that's why I'm giving these properties away. So Robin Banks, send an email, contact information, title. I know I'm forgetting something. Your name, your YouTube channel, your YouTube handle, all that stuff. Email it, and we'll be in contact, and we'll start doing the paperwork to get you a piece of property. Shouldn't say free because it costs me money, but it's free to you, so it's me giving it to you. Thank you everybody for listening, watching. Thanks everyone that's saying congratulations. Why is everyone saying flash, flash, flash? They say a couple people won. Flash 5. Let's see. So I get this a couple times. I think people's comments come in at different times than so going back in the history. Yeah, so I've got on my screen, I've got Robin Banks and then Mr. Flash 5. Let me see if I can pull this over to the screen. So this is my live feed screen. Let's see if I can pull it up on here. Make sure it's working. Okay, so here's the comments going by on my screen. Got A2 saying green light now, Herb saying thank you. Then Robin Banks saying 37. Mr. Flash 5 says 37. So it's Robin, Flash, TK Dawes 37. Like there's 3 of them right in a row. 37, 37, 37 on my screen. And if you go back and watch the video after this gets uploaded, an hour or 2 or something, it'll be on YouTube. You'll see it going by. It'll be Robin Banks. It comes up first, and then Mr. Flash 5. If you're Mr. Flash 5 and you're watching on your screen, it might show yours first and then Robin later. But if you go back and watch the recording, I bet you'll show Robin first and then yours later. I've had this problem a couple times with the YouTube comments, And I'm wondering if there's a better way to start giving land away that's not whoever's up first, but something more comprehensive. I've seen other people give stuff away, and they'll pick somebody out of the feed instead of saying whoever comes up first. Maybe I should do that. Just randomly pick somebody off of the feed that answers it right. And I'll think about that. I'll try to come up with a better way of doing this. But I just basically want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Flash 5, for understanding. Thanks for answering. Thanks, Robin Banks, for winning. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign out and talk to you guys later. Bye.